This week, I want to shout out New Brickerton for showing some love to city builders on a budget and sharing 5 tips on how you can get started. And I will say his city is looking pretty fresh, but you'll have to check out his channel to get his explanation for tip 5. This was not a paid advertisement for the Cali Brick Clique, but I'm all about building on a budget. I mean, what they expect. We recorded episode 69 on 420 shenanigans.
Oh, yeah, that's
Not to say that's going to happen to you, Stacey.
I did watch that one. That was one of the ones I watched. A little bit of it, I was like, ooh.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 70 of Cali Brick Clique. And like always, you can find this episode and all previous episode anywhere you can find podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Does anyone use iHeartRadio? Yeah, anywhere else you can find podcasts. But like always, we have Claire the Plastic Architect.
Hello.
We have Ninja with the Bricks or Bricks Ninja.
Just Ninja. Just Ninja.
I don't know what the real thing is. Many of your things, like
just
your
Ninja.
handle's different everywhere. And
I gotta
whatever,
be in the
Ninja.
shadows, Liz. Gotta keep it shady.
My bad. Okay, fine. We got Ninja, who's always a
man,
ninja.
that sounded nice. Yeah.
There we go. And today we have Stacey, aka ForBricksandGiggles. How's it going?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. For everyone who's listening, I first pulled Stacey out of Sci stream, so shout out to Sci O'Connor for bringing her out into the Lego community, like amongst people, which we're gonna get into in a second. But before that, how's everyone's week been?
But no.
Good. That's good. Yeah.
It's Tuesday. It just started.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Monday. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I thought it was
guess.
Friday.
It's Friday, Claire. You're kind of messing up the wall here.
Right. If I were to preemptively guess how this week is going, pretty good. How about that?
Well, you did some traveling, and so did I.
Yeah. How was your trip?
So even though we wanted to hit on how crappy Legoland is, I had a relatively good time with my children, mainly because they had a good time.
Yeah, you have kids.
Yes.
Yeah, they enjoyed it, and like I've taken Ezra to Legoland once already, but he was like 2, so he enjoyed it to an extent. But this time, he fully comprehends what this is. He really knows what the Lego Movie is, and the hobby in general. And Luna's not far behind her, even though she's way younger. They really love like everything. Everywhere we went, it was overly stimulating. The Lego Movies park section was really fun for them. I didn't go to the ramen place out of your recommendation or anybody else's recommendation. I went to get, maybe because I also drink a lot of beer at the castle place. That may have done it for me, where I was happy. But for the most part, they enjoyed it, and because they enjoyed it, I enjoyed it.
Exactly.
I can see how like going by yourself though, or with like adults, it can be like, now what do we do after Miniland?
Yeah, it's not really like, I mean, it's not even that. It's if you like go to Disneyland regularly, it's just like looking at like the,
Oh yeah, for sure.
just the budget is totally different. The like the idea is that like Lego prides itself on like being the best toy, but like other representations of the brand is also really good. Like the retail locations are great. They have excellent customer service. Like they train, their employees pretty hard, and it's like it's a whole shtick, but it's supposed to be a great retail experience. And then when you call like their customer service, it's great. But then that doesn't translate into the parks. And so, because it's like a different company operating it, there's not the same level of rigorous training when it comes to like the customer service employee base. You know what I mean? Like if you ask questions, unless you get the right person, you might get someone who's in a bad mood. And that happens, like, you know what I mean? But like at Disney, that doesn't really happen. People are really like,
I feel like everyone in Disney who works is like, well, they call them all castmates. Everyone has to be, everyone has to play a role and a part. And even though you're just serving, nachos at Disneyland, you're a character and you have to act the part. Whereas here, like, I definitely saw people who were like bussing tables who were miserable, did not want to be bothered. So I can see the difference in that. And the amount of money that you're spending, I think
that's crazy is like the ticket prices are almost the same as like these other theme park experiences, which are very different. So you kind of go for the nostalgia's sake. And then there is like also something special about it being not as crowded. And it's like a park specifically for like an age range of kids. So like there's something beneficial to that. Like, that you can do everything. And like, anyway.
Plus, if you haven't been there and you're a Lego fan, it is like fun for the first time to see all this.
Yeah. But it's definitely like, I was looking, it's like why would I pay like $1,000 a year to be an annual member? That's like crazy
Yeah.
town.
$1,000?
Something like that. Yeah, I mean that's how much like that's like
For
how much
those-
like Disney. It's like around the same price as like
An
Disneyland
iPhone.
annual passes. You
Yeah,
know.
iPhone.
Yeah. I'd rather go to Disneyland more so than none.
Hey, Disneyland has a nice Lego store in downtown Disney.
It does.
It's almost
Yeah,
the same
that's
thing.
enough. That's enough
Yeah.
for me.
And it's got like the great customer service experience that we're expecting, so it's almost better. But anyway, Stacey, have you ever been to Legoland?
I haven't. I'm on the East Coast, and it wasn't until a few years ago that we got one. I think in like Florida, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I was told, I was like in college at that point, and I was told that basically if you're older than 10, it's not worth going to.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that was some good advice. Yeah.
So you're like you're a Yankee fan.
Yes,
Why are you reverting to Florida?
my dad is from the Bronx of New York, and so it was like a family requirement. If I wanted to stay in the family, I had to be a Yankees fan.
You're one of those. So you're a fan by like family, no
Inherent.
matter where you are in the world.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
I guess that makes sense. Aside from that, did you guys see the new Bricklink designer prices for the new round?
Mm-mm.
They're
Oh,
all like $300 plus.
Oh my god.
But
Are
they're all
Are they
like,
big sets though?
no, yeah, they're huge sets. I think Brick Revolution did a great video on this. Shout out to him. Where every single set, the it's less than 10 cents per piece, even though it's like $300. So it's something I don't know. I know you have a Bricklink store, Stacey,
Expensive.
so I don't know if that's something you would part out just because there's a price value for that. If you were to split all up, is worth it, right? No.
I remember when it used
No.
to be like 1 cent per piece
dang.
back in the day.
Damn, 1 cent.
I'm that old.
You're that old. I don't think you're that old. But no.
It's a
So
safe space. It's a safe
is
space.
anyone like? I know Claire. Are you gonna get any of them?
I haven't looked at them yet. Like I don't even know what sets it is. When is the when are they going live?
I haven't checked
Mhm,
because since they're over $300, I don't know if I want to dive into. I know I wanted the diner or
mhm,
not the diner. Sorry, the observatory.
mhm.
I think that's over $300. The modular construction site because it says it's a modular. That's
Mhm,
like 3 something too.
mhm.
I think the train station is like 4 something. It's like ridiculous. But then again, it's less. It's the high piece counts that are in these sets.
So,
The pieces are always like one by
Little-
one.
one by one
little
pieces.
tiny
right, for the
pieces.
details and stuff, yeah. So,
Fair enough.
are these sets that we've seen already? I feel
Yes,
like
yeah.
we've seen
It's the third round of the
the third.
program.
Oh, okay, I see.
So, in case anyone's out there and haven't seen it yet, I think the price points are listed. I don't know when they go live. Like then again, I haven't checked it recently. But prepare yourself. Nothing's less than like $100.
Mhm.
They are all
Girthy.
seriously up there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised though. I mean, but like think about how many times you're like, oh, that mock is so cool. Like I wish they would make it into a Lego set. It's so cool. I would pay the price for it or a small percent. I mean, like they're doing what people are asking. Like it's
Mhm.
not, you know,
Mhm, yeah.
it's you can't ask for like a gigantic like 3,000 piece set and be like, I want it for $40. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Welcome
Like-
to the custom world.
Well, no, it's only, what are you talking about? It's way less expensive than the custom world.
Oh
This
no,
is-
well, because also it's supplied by Lego. That's a big difference. Like, but then again, you're not. When I say custom world, you're not restricted by rules. Like, keep it under this price point for this set. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, if everybody wants a 501st battle pack, Lego wants to either make it $25 or $40. Like, they have a decision on how much it's going to cost before finishing the whole thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Here,
but
they're just
I
like,
think these
build it.
prices probably would be the same if they were on Lego shelves. I mean, if they're huge sets, like I don't. Do you see how expensive sets are? There's like sets that are like
Yeah.
15, 6, like they're like 25 parts and it's $50. Like I don't.
yeah, I bought all the dinosaur sets, all the Jurassic World.
Yeah,
sets.
like all that
I
stuff is
bought
like
every single one of them.
yeah, like I don't. This is not even close. If this was like in the custom world, it would be like 1,000
Oh, I won.
each of these. Congratulations! Yeah.
Okay, sorry for interrupting, but I just was on eBay for the Black Falcon's original castle, and I won it for $89.
That's awesome.
Pew, 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 pew.
Wow.
It's a $300. Speaking of which, it's a $300 set. So
Is it used or new?
it's used, but hey, whatever. $89. It's a steal.
That's a bargain.
That's a bargain for that set. 1986. Hey yo, that's when the set came out. Anyways, yes. Sets are expensive. I think they're worth it personally for the Bricklink Designer program. So I'm not bagging on it. I just don't know if I want to buy.
No. Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. And if like you like a specific set, it's definitely worth getting because it's like a program that I think should be supported. Because like it existing is pretty cool. For like, it's really only there for the AFOL community. Like nobody else knows about it, which is kind of nice, you know. And like people like to complain a lot that like Lego doesn't do X, Y, and Z for AFOLs, and this is kind of it. You know what I mean? I can't imagine that they're making like an arm and a leg on this thing, but I don't know because it's like so small batch. You know what I mean? It's like it's like unless it's like going to Target, I can't imagine stuff is really worth
Their point.
These are like the chase variants of Lego sets. Because like everything else you can just pick up on the store, but you have to know about these ones.
Yeah, you have to know about it. You have to like, especially like the first round, you know, you have to like be on top of it. And then they even try to rectify that by like being like, okay, well, we'll release some more, you know, and like here's more, you know. It's like very, I don't know. I don't like swallow like the Lego, you know, Kool-Aid, but this this is like a cool, I think it's a pretty cool program that they have. Especially for designers who like want to see their stuff, you know, be produced. I wonder if their monetary gain is anywhere. It can't. It might be the same percentage, but it's not going to be anywhere close to like something that hits
ideas.
I was thinking that same thing.
But then that's also like on the designer. It's like part of. I think a lot of people forget that like part of the challenge of like designing a set for Lego ideas isn't necessarily like making the coolest Lego set. It's like making the most marketable Lego set, which is like a completely different challenge entirely. It's like getting the assignment, understanding the assignment or not understanding the assignment. And like I think it's people get really upset about it's like you didn't read the problem correctly before answering the question. It's like kind of a basic thing. Yeah.
Dang, I hate those word problems.
Yeah.
Shout out to JB for that one for the BTS.
Yeah, I mean like and like I think he got a lot of hate for that, and which is like not really fair because it's like he understood the situation, like what was being asked, and he achieved that. He like, you know, took the most direct path possible to get that, which shouldn't be faulted. But anyway.
Is that a One Direction pun for a BTS set?
No, but that would be that would have been cool if I meant to do that. That would have been cool.
So what you're saying is if you want to win ideas, you have to pick something that's trending.
You have to pick something that's palatable for Lego to pick up. It doesn't necessarily have to be an IP. It helps if it's an IP, but that's like harder. It's like you have to find that right IP at the right time. Like think about how many Office sets were submitted and which one got, you know, chosen. It's like it's all like, and it's, you know, it's the moon and the sun have to align at the timing. It's like a lot of factors have to, like, that are out of your control at the same time. So
I think also he aimed for a larger crowd than just Lego fans.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's like, think about the Friends set, you know, like think about those like kind of idea sets that like brought in
Flintstones and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like stuff that brings in fandom that's not Lego based, which is so cool. Like it makes Lego more mainstream. It funnels money into a company, which gives cooler sets. You know, I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun. But what it does do is increase value of the older ones, which sucks.
Yeah.
It's good and bad. You know,
it sucks if you don't have them.
Sucks if you don't have them. It's great as a seller. But anyway.
What about Atari? Anybody?
Oh, I was just thinking about that.
I feel like I'm
I heard it. Yeah.
I think it's cool. I'll probably get it. Like like my cousin.
That was before us. Way before us.
Yeah, like we're a little young, but I think like it's just such a cool set.
I don't know. I want to see more about it. From what I've seen so far, the NES is better so far.
I'm surprised they went that far back. I know it's a 60-year or whatever, right? 60 years?
It's
50 years?
50, I think.
50 years? Yeah. I know it's an anniversary for it, but I'm surprised because the targeted would be like millennials and above for like nostalgia right now. For as far as who would consume. I mean, everybody's doing it as far as fashion to like regular products, toys, everything. So
I
to
don't
go
know,
back
but like
further than like in the 70s.
I don't know, but old stuff is like any
It's
like
yeah,
5 years
it's
ago.
still an Atari.
Yeah.
I
Like, I
actually have a pretty high population of older male followers on all of my accounts. So I feel like there is actually older men that are into Lego too. And I know that sounds creepy. Like, I get it.
You don't want to say
But,
it.
like, I was shocked that, like, you know, because a lot of times I'll click on the people that follow me and they're posting Lego related stuff. So yes, you're gonna get the creeps too. Like, that's just part of it. But a lot of them actually do have Lego accounts. So I'm like, it's
Mhm.
pretty surprising.
Well,
Right.
if you go to like a lot,
Pull that demographic in.
well, yeah, that whole, I mean, I think that demographic is actually the majority of the AFOL community. If you go to like a lug meeting or a convention, it's like 90% that
So
demographic.
so thinking of that though, why didn't they start with the Atari? Because that was before, and I don't know. It's just
I think
just weird to think
50th
about.
anniversary sounds better.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Plus, Atari's not really Nintendo, so there's that difference also. But I mean, the set looks pretty cool from what I've seen. It just doesn't have a TV. The TV was the best part of the NES.
Yeah, well,
I
yeah,
agree.
that's true. I mean, I still haven't even built my NES set yet. It's still in this box.
Wow.
I just want to know that I have it. I'm good.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm
But
I'm
do
good
better,
with
Shy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's hard, man. I don't have time to build everything.
You've got more built than I do, so
Yeah. Look,
That's
There we
true.
go.
That stuff.
let's dive into that. So let's get into Stacey for a little bit then, because we kind of touched on a lot of things that we're going to focus on today. But Stacey, or for Bricks and Giggles on all your social media platforms, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like how you came to the hobby, what you do as far as like with it now, et cetera, et cetera?
yeah. I actually got into Lego around like 97, 98. And it started with like a Kellogg's cereal box. They used to put Lego in cereal boxes. So that was kind of the first interaction we had with Lego. And then not long after, I got my first Lego set. And then I have been into Lego for almost 25 years now. So nonstop from that point, every Christmas, every birthday, Easter, just anything Lego related, I've been about it for 25 years. So in 2017, I bought, like, I think it was a diver set that was incomplete, and I was trying to complete it via eBay and was not succeeding. And that's when I discovered Bricklink. And then the rest is history there. I started buying obsessively from Bricklink, and then I was like, I got to make some of this money back. So I started selling on Bricklink, and then now that's what I do full time. I also make Christmas ornaments out of Lego for Etsy, and then I'll sell off some bulk stuff on eBay. And then I think in 2019, I started my Instagram account to like advertise for my Christmas ornaments. And then I just fell in love with like the whole Lego world on social media. I had no idea that existed. So yeah, it started with just like posting pictures of the little ornaments I was making. And now I rarely post those because that's not what they're interested in seeing. So yeah, but I got Instagram down, like where I was on a good routine there. And then I added in YouTube, and now I've added in TikTok. And so it's just kind of been like one thing after the next. And so now it's been almost a year I've been doing just Lego related stuff full time as a career, I guess.
I mean, you're killing it like on TikTok, aren't you?
I don't know about that. I have like 13,000 on TikTok. So
It's a lot.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I follow two different guys that have 1 million each. They're Lego accounts that have 1 million each. So I'm like, I got some room to grow there, but it's a lot of fun, and that's the main point for me. It's just to enjoy what I'm doing.
So that brings up some pretty much the main topic right there, is trying to figure out whether to be influenced or to influence the type of content you create. What brought this to my attention is that while Stacey and I were on Size live stream, she brought up that she tries to not be influenced by others, so that way she can create unique content on her own. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So do you want let's dive into that, because I know you wanted to say a separate piece to that before we even started this.
Yeah. Yeah, when I said that, I was like, I didn't really super elaborate on that, but I do follow a handful of accounts of like people I definitely want to be supportive of, but like when I'm on TikTok and I'm scrolling through, I don't get a lot of Lego related content. Everything I get is kind of what's trending now, I guess. And so I really like that because I can see what the viral sounds are and like what non-Lego content creators are making and see if there's a way that I can merge the two so that I am both bringing in Lego related followers as well as more like everyday people that would also enjoy the content. So I don't want to be forced into a niche, which is really what also social media wants. And I've started trying to add more non-Lego related content into definitely my Instagram and TikTok accounts. YouTube, I'm fine with that being all Lego. I don't really want to do anything different with that, but I would like to share other funny things that I do or other parts of my life. So I'm like, I don't want to be forced into one niche by the algorithm.
And that's Instagram and TikTok, right? You're not
Yeah.
that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
So like that's an interesting way of looking at that, like looking at what's trending as in a macro scale and then applying that versus what's everyone else doing in Lego to then make content out of. Because on YouTube, I can't speak for the other two as much, but on YouTube, everyone's doing literally the same thing, and everyone said the same thing over and over and over again. It's like really, really hard to like be different, like, and then grow from that. There are like when you have a review or when you want to review something, chances are there are already 100 people already reviewing it right before you even thought that you're going to review the same set. So what's the point of doing it? Like, especially if there's people lagging their stuff early or people finding stuff early, or like just being news. Like it's really hard to be different. And like I've seen people do trendy things on like other parts of the YouTube world and not do so well. But then I've seen people do like, and it looks, the videos turn out great. It just doesn't pick up as, like we would hope it to go. Or people, and also people who do the same thing, like generic studs, and like kill it. So like it is interesting to see like where the correct answer is to like to grow on any social media platform, because sometimes it's just like people just you don't grow no matter how hard you put effort into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is interesting to hear like a perspective like that, like trying to like open the tunnel vision or condense the tunnel vision, and then find out which way is like the right way for you.
Like I am very quiet and reserved, and like I'm just, a lot of this stuff actually totally scares me to do. So I've been doing this very slowly. I'm like, I don't want it, I don't ever want to force it. Like I don't want to put on a personality that's not me to try and gain views. Like if you don't like me for what I'm putting out there, I just don't ever want it to be forced where it's like a fake personality. You see a lot of those fake YouTube personalities where it's like these huge transitions and, jumps and all, they're like, I don't know, they're just putting on a show and you're like, it feels so fake and forced. And I'm like,
I'm sure that gets tiring too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. So a lot of content creators on social media are actually introverted as well, which is probably why that they've been led to like that interface being more comfortable rather than being in like a group dynamic in like an office or some other setting. But I agree with you. I think even though it works for some people, like I think with kids content, it works really well to like be over the top and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's something disingenuous about it. And I think there are adult communities that, like if that's what you're targeting, that's not what they want to see. And at least like for YouTube and TikTok and these things that decrease the depth between creator and viewer, it's supposed to be at arm's length, and people like that about it. So it's supposed to feel like somebody you would know in real life or someone who lives next door. And so if you seem disingenuous, it's like suicide, I think, with it.
Eventually.
Yeah.
There's going to be a fall there.
Yeah.
Eventually your real self will come out and they're like, who's this?
Well, it's also the issue I think also happens with like with cancel culture as well. Like if you're so concerned about putting on like a certain um, face, there is a reality that like a specific expectation is going to be set of you, and people are going to try to kind of break through that facade, which is, there are people that are intentionally online to do that, which is like unfortunate, you know what I mean? So like if you slip up, people will be ready to jump on you. So it's like you have to kind of find that middle ground. And then Lego is like kind of this weird space because it is kids content in a way, you know what I mean? It's like you can make it as adult as you like. You know, you can target towards an adult audience, towards the AFOL community, but like a big viewership is kids. And so you have to be mindful to a degree. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like when you put a real strong face of what you want to project versus who you really are, it's self-inflicting damage that's all gonna pop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I feel like it's like psychologically, like it's gonna you're gonna hit a breaking point.
So the thing is, like, we can't say this for like YouTube or really Instagram and those, or not, sorry, Instagram and TikTok, because those are obviously like haven't been around that long, and also less information is shared through those platforms. But YouTube has been around long enough now that there are creators that are still there, and you could really see like what it was like for them over the course of their lifetime. And they are like successful YouTubers, so they're like the ones that people like aspire to. And you hear people like vloggers like Casey Neistat, who talks about how like his work schedule and like his rigorousness almost like, you know, destroyed his marriage and his family life. And people who have been canceled and who have dead channels. It's like there's like crazy. It's like the data is there for us to like learn from and move from, you know, move forward from. But like, it's interesting. It's like, people are always like, oh, it's like, it's probably like, you know, the number one thing that kids want to be now when you ask them, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I think is like a YouTuber or like an influencer. And it's interesting because it's like a relatively like new profession in you could say that, oh, like marketing has been around forever, but it's interesting. I think there's some serious damage that can be had over the long term of doing it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a small creator and I still get hate. I mean, like everybody gets hate on it. So you're like, I'm playing with a little toy. How can you be mean to me? Like there's
that's it.
They'll find it now.
You're grown playing with a toy.
They'll find it. Yeah.
there's so many, like, I mean, it kind of, at least for me, like it takes me back to childhood when kids in elementary school will just like find whatever they can to be mean about. Like it just does not matter. Like you know what I mean? Like there's always going to be something like you're too tall, you're too fat, you're too foreign, you're too whatever. There's like so many different things that people can make fun of you for. And it kind of is like that as well. Like you're never going to please everybody on the internet. And then like trying to do so is exhausting and you can like burn yourself out. And and it's just really interesting. Like I think, you know, obviously like all of us are like small creators. I just think like, you know, the people who've got like millions and millions of viewers, like my God, like their lives are, you know, out there, and fame is like not necessarily the best thing, I think, but I don't know. It's easy to say that.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I am happy with like, you know, what at least I'm putting out there. I know, Claire, you're trying to figure out like the next best moves for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, so for part of me was like, oh, this would be like a really cool career. It'd be like really fun to do that. I really enjoy it. I get a lot like out of it, but it doesn't. I had to like kind of make a decision to myself, like it doesn't make sense for it to be my livelihood. Like I've already spent 10 years in another profession, and I'm at like a pivoting point for that. And like my earning potential is so much higher with that than it is with starting from scratch in another career, as in social media and YouTube. And I like that other stuff. It's not like I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like it's just different work. And so it was like kind of like a hard pill to swallow. And for me, I don't like doing anything badly. And so like, and I'm competitive with everything. So it's like, I still want to do something here. So like with the help of like Sans, who's like, you know, surprise, surprise, like a super supportive, wonderful partner, is like, you know, we basically like did the work of figuring out like what it is that like I'm looking for and like what, you know, what joy I would get out of it. And so like, but how to do that in like the smallest way possible, if that makes sense. So that I can still maintain like another career. And so that's kind of, we're trying to figure that out, you know, and like
find that balance.
Like a self-sustaining hobby, basically.
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's just like, you know, it doesn't, as much as I'd like to be like, oh yeah, it would be totally ideal to like be on Twitch and YouTube and do social, because I like love it. I think it's so much fun. It's so fascinating. It's so weird. It's not something you learn in school. It is like, it's this like moving beast that you always constantly have to stay on top of. And it's like, it really kind of keeps you on your toes. But, you know, we live in the Bay Area, and the finances that we need to support ourselves here are pretty high. And I think only one of us could probably afford to try to make a career, and one of us has more potential than the other. So, and
I think the way I don't want to say we, but I don't know, the way I was raised, you want something more stable for a foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like, not something that could just go away if someone decides to not watch you. So that's why I think kids just think of it as a career instead of a self-sustaining hobby, which it should be.
I think people don't get how scrappy you have to be. Like, Stacey, okay, you've got a Bricklink store. You're selling on Etsy. You're like doing TikTok. You're doing Instagram. You're doing like, that's like you have to have multiple income streams for it to be successful. And like, you know, like I'm kind of like, you know, status quo. I've got YouTube. I've got Instagram. I've got a sticker shop. You know, it's like constantly like doing stuff to like, you know, to Twitch, like all that crap. And I'm not even doing a good job of it. You know what I mean? And it's like, you still have to like, you have to do these things. And I don't think people realize you might as well be like running a small business.
At that point, yes.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Like the amount of work that you're putting in, because that's literally what I thought about. I was like, okay, I can either start like a development firm, or I can do a YouTube channel. And I was like, shit, like it doesn't, like I was like at that point. And then I was like, I could also do the YouTube thing later. Do you know what I mean? Like more aggressively. And if I wanted to, because like honestly, if Sans does well, it's great. It's only going to benefit me. So it doesn't matter. Like, it's fine. I still get like residual like subscribers, so it's awesome. Like I can literally do nothing and I'll get like 50, 100 subscribers because like we got like 1,000 new ones. So it's great.
Wow.
Speaking of that, I don't know where to put myself on his last list. So I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, that's called partnership, guys, or freeloading or whatever you can.
You guys are balancing each other out. There's already a yin and yang for financial stability somewhere in there.
Well, I will say I'm like a single person, and I live with my parents because I have zero interest of living on my own. That scares me, living by myself as a female. So I'm like, I'm going to take advantage of this and pay off student loans and be a single person at home. And so if I had like massive bills of living like in an apartment or something,
like a mortgage,
I would, I mean, when I started all of this, I was working full time, releasing 2 YouTube videos a week, Instagram, all of my Bricklink. I was like doing all of this. And then I was like, well, I don't have the bills. So, and I'm single, so nobody is, you know, needing me for money. You know, I have no children and no dependents, anything like that. So I was like, I can make this work and build it up now while I have the opportunity. But not everyone has that ability. So it's like, I understand it's not sustainable for a lot of people to do, but luckily my parents are super supportive. So,
and also like you want to be there. It's not like, it doesn't sound like you're making, you know, a sacrifice to be in that environment right now. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I love it. Yeah.
Like, no, like I think it would ruin my relationship with my father if I lived there. So it's like fine, you know, to each, like it's also really critical that like you saw that as like an opportunity. And it's also like if you're gonna do it, now's the time to do it.
Right.
And it's going to work. Now is the time that it's going to work, where you have like the capacity to give it your all, and
Yes.
you know, and you're excited about it, and
Yes.
it's gonna. What are your like hopes? Like, are you hoping that like the Bricklink store is like the main beef of it all, or like is it
That's
YouTube?
where it started. Was
Yeah.
I love buying like bulk lots and getting to go through them and
It's so
being a fan.
fun.
So honestly, Bricklink was like initially that's all I wanted out of it, and then now the more into social media I've gotten, the more I really like that aspect. But I really don't want to lose the love of Lego, so I'm trying to actually put more emphasis on spending more time doing Bricklink. So I've like gotten it down to where I pretty much only I'll record all my TikToks, YouTube video, take all my photos for Instagram all in one day. And then I have the other 4 days of the week to spend specifically on, you know, Bricklink. And then, you know, I just put the social media stuff out as I
timing it. Yeah.
You give yourself weekends? You just said 5 days there. So like Saturday, Sunday, you're like, I don't do anything. That's great.
I mean, when there's bulk lots and I'm like watching TV, I get really bored. So like I need something to do with my hands.
That's fair.
So but I don't consider it work. I'm like,
okay.
I really like going. I mean, you're just playing with Lego. So I'm either building it or sorting it. It's like one or the other. But I can stop at any point. So I don't feel like it's work because I'm like, I can stop doing this whenever I want to. So.
But
yeah, I love like scouring, you know, the internet and whatnot, or like garage sales and stuff for bulk lots, and kind of like looking through and seeing if you can kind of identify specific sets that you're excited about. And I've done that. I got like, you know, like I saw like parts of like Lego Rado, and we went 20 minutes later, you know, across town to get it, and we got like 80% of Lego Rado, like in one.
I'm so jealous.
You know, but like, and I'm sure you've had your fair share of that, but like I've seen, like I've watched a couple of your videos where you like pull out like Belleville chunks, and I'm just like, oh, like, you know, like that's like the thing that gets me super excited as well. And it's just like, you know, just that excitement is so. I honestly like. This is gonna sound crazy, but like, you know, you go through phases with like your love of Lego. You're like, I love buying new sets, the newest, the greatest, the biggest. Give me Ninjago City, Gardens, all of it. And then you're like, oh, like I want like the weird, like custom, you know, minifigs, or I want to collect all the Marvel minifigs. You go through like phases, and then you're like, I want all the, you know, X, Y, and Z. But like, I think the one that I always come back to is like hunting, and like. I think someone we met calls it, I think like Lego archaeology or whatever, you know, where you're like, you know, you're like hunting through it, and it's like really fun. Like I've done live streams before where like I take the bulk lot out, and like me and Sans and the chat will try to figure out where stuff is from, which is like super, super fun.
Yes. Yeah, that's my favorite thing to do. Like if I could only do one thing, it would be like sifting through bulk lots and finding treasure, you know? So.
And bugs and all sorts of gross stuff that kids
erasers, paper clips.
Yeah. Are you like do you like use like, are you like a rubber like latex gloves like at the first batch, or like how do you, or like separate out the stickered elements, like how do you do that? What's the strategy?
I mean, I've never really like thought I need to wear gloves. The dirtiest lot I ever got immediately just went, like I opened it and I was like box to bucket of water, you know? So I was like, if there's anything electronic in here, I'm sorry, I'm not touching it. It's just going to die in the water. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, probably should. You don't know where it's coming from, but most of the stuff I get doesn't look like tangibly dirty. And I've never come across anything truly horrifying so far. So I'm like, I haven't ever been I get on in there. I'm too excited.
You're too excited. Yeah. This is something Sans and I both have in common. Like we hate having dirty hands, like him actually more so than me. Like I hated playing basketball in elementary school because you would play on the blacktop and your hands would get filthy. Like I hated it. Yeah. And it's just like a feeling. And so, yeah, we're definitely like, I have bought like some gross, like old friends bulk lots and just some stuff. And it's like, he's like, you're cleaning that. Double wash that one, like to the point that like if we get pab like from like, you know, from the wall, he washes that because
that's fair though. Little kids, yeah,
It's actually really gross. If you have
That's
any
true,
knowledge, like Shy, as someone who's worked there, would you say like it's pretty like kids are like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
kids
so-
are gross. I mean, I also firsthand experience. My kids are disgusting.
But that's why
So
never put the bricks in your mouth.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we wash all like we especially it's honestly it's probably dirtier. Like those bricks from the pad wall are probably dirtier than someone's used lot because someone's used lot it's only really been touched by like a couple people.
the
Everything I
BAM is
get
more
Gets
disgusting.
washed.
The
Yeah, well,
BAM.
The
everything
BAM is
I
disgusting.
sorry.
So, you know,
Oh, you mean the build a minifigure
yeah,
part?
the BAM is disgusting.
Well, yeah, I see.
Really?
It's like
Because
put it in
kids
the
always
house
they
and
just
they
go there to build. They go in there and build minifigures because since COVID, a lot of them took away the buildable like Duplo areas and like all those are gone. So a lot of parents take their kids to the Lego store to kind of like go play, like go walk around, like go do something and leave me alone. Like so the kids, which you saw, Claire, I did the same exact thing.
You did it with your children, yes.
Yeah,
You
I'm
were
like,
here.
go build the minifigs, and that's all he did. Like Ezra, like he sorts, like pulls out specific pieces, and Ezra, Luna does somewhat the same thing, but occasionally most kids they
No,
just
she
build
just
minifigs
takes things
and
and
runs.
puts them in her pocket. Yeah, it's
Yeah, we came up on a bunch of pizzas, yes. So, but yeah, I already know.
maniac. Yeah.
Yeah, great. I have a Winona.
Oh my goodness.
But for the most part, like yes, the kids will mainly focus on the minifigure station and like just touch everything there more so than the pieces on the wall. I don't know. I haven't really, at least have when I've been there lately, I haven't seen many children build from the pad wall. Usually, like when I used to work there, kids will do it all the time. They'll get creative and build stuff from the pad wall. And usually, like the builds, like that they leave on the countertop, we don't put them back in. Well, at least the way I ran my store, we didn't put them back into the bubbles. We broke them down and either tossed them out and recycled them, or we broke them down, put them in like the two bubbles with the random pieces because we're to sort them back into the bubbles is going to take forever. I don't have that type of time. So, for the most part, I think stores try their best to not like put it. Keep the wall as dirty. At least what I'm experienced with. I can't speak for every store that's out there, but
it's hard
for sure.
Though. Like you can't, right? Like I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, like the stuff at the bottom, like closest, are bigger pieces, right? So that like the really little kids like can't put them in their mouth or whatever, or if they do, they're like less of a choking hazard.
The bottom two rows are always big pieces.
Got it. Yeah, I've always noticed that because it's like if I need bricks, like my eyes always go down. I don't know. Anyway, it's fascinating, but I don't know. We were talking about like old sets and like digging through old sets, and then we got into dirty Lego. But
all old sets are right now.
There's no amount of like that's like not worth cleaning. There's like nothing. Like I will never throw away like a piece or something. Do you know what I mean? Like
it's dirty.
Yeah, like there was. You can always like bring it back. You know, there's always
even
if it's got teeth marks, like you can use it for making Mills plates. You can use it for something. You know, like even like I don't know. I feel like you can reuse almost maybe except for like really distressed fabric, but I'm sure you could figure out something cool with it. You know, like
or if
Stacey sells it.
If it's shattered, I don't
What?
know.
You sell it, right?
What do you mean?
The bulks? Do you sell the bulk lots or do you keep them?
Oh, I keep them. I mean, I individually sell the bricks out of them onto Bricklink, but yeah. Well, and then anything that's like not really worth a whole lot, I redo and put out on eBay. So yeah.
That's like a bulk.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just like by the pound or something like that.
Yeah, basically I'm just like pay for the shipping and I'll make like a few dollars off of it. But if some kid wants it or adult, whatever, like it's not gonna have anything exciting in it, but hopefully someone can still use it.
You just like move it out of it's like mostly to get it out.
Yes.
Do you like when you get bulk stuff, do you dig through it to like find sets and then sell those sets? Or do you usually keep them for yourself?
I usually hope there aren't sets in there so that I can sell it all. But if there are sets that I don't have in that lot, I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah.
So, does that happen more often than not?
No, I really do sell a significant portion, but like in November I got it was like a 30-pound bulk lot of just 90 stuff, and I have probably pulled 50 sets out of that lot, and I'm not selling any of them. I have to keep all of those.
Not for nothing, but where are those sets? Because you have your famous like panel wall. You very minimalistic, so good on you. But like, where are
they're all broken down in bags. They're bagged by number, and they're in plastic tubs. Yeah, I have like 3 shelves that I can display stuff on, and so it's always just like a constant cycle of building and putting away. So
yeah, that's how we are too. Yeah, we finally got a storage unit, or we're getting one actually possibly tonight. We wanted to do a little bit more organization, but like we have like plenty of backlogged like big sets that we're like very happy. We have that like new in box. That's obviously like going like the Falcon and all that stuff, and you know all these sets. We're not ready to build them because like we don't have the space for them, so those are going in. And then like we have totes and totes and totes of broken down sets from. I'm doing it. We like, and then it's also we've combined like our collection, so it's hefty. And yeah, so like we're organizing them now by theme into the bin, and then like I've created like an Excel sheet that's like, you know, organized by theme and by set number.
Yes,
and then
the exact same thing.
And I'm gonna like print it out for like each container. It's gonna go on the front, and that's it. And like, you know, it's the only. I honestly, I think it's the only way to do it. Like I did at the beginning when it was just my stuff. I had stuff like handwritten, and then it was just like on the outside. But now with like over 1,200 sets, I think even more. You know, you just can't do that. Yeah.
Did you give up on your brick set list?
What about our brick?
Do you keep up with it?
We are, we try to. So like we haven't transitioned over all of Sam. Like we decided mine was already more up to date than his for my collection. And then so we've just been adding to mine, and that's like our cumulative one as well. And now as we're putting stuff into each bin, we're like back checking to make sure we have it right on Brickset and stuff. So I think like yesterday I added like 100 new new to me Star Wars sets on Brickset. Yeah. Nice. And there's more. There's like the Star Wars collection is deep with that one. So yeah.
I don't know. I've started to take Lego out of this office and put it in our garage because I am out of space.
Dang. Yeah, I don't know why you didn't do that ages ago. Like what?
Because the wife said Lego lives in the office. It does not leave. But our garage, which is another room, which we don't use, there's nothing in there.
Is it climate controlled?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good.
It's fine. It's a room, so it's fine. And it's like it has AC and all that kind of stuff, so it's pretty mellow in there. But like
finished, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like I have all like the large box sets like that I don't think I'm gonna build anytime soon, like the starter destroyer. I'm not building that anytime soon. There's nowhere for me to put that. Like I had the AT-AT box is in there too, and then a lot of like the sets that I know I'm eventually gonna use, like all the sitcom sets for the Sig Tower. Like I thought I was gonna have that done by now. I haven't even touched it. All those boxes are in there, and I'm still full. Like so I'm like so that's
my goal is just like. My goal is to get enough stuff out of my apartment so I can have people over again for dinner. like there's so many like bins all on my dining room, around my dining room. Like nobody can come over. You know what I mean? Like it's like you have to like snake your way through stuff, you know, to like get there. So that's the goal. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get into a 5x10 space. I have very low expectations that will happen.
You don't think you talking about storage? You don't think that's possible? Is it like a shortage in your area?
No. Like hopefully we can get it into a 5x10. Otherwise,
okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Like my dad, like I keep like my Christmas trees and like my Christmas decorations at my dad's house, and he like wants to get those out of there, but I think he's gonna have to orate it. I know he's got like 2,600 square feet plus storage space, and we have like less than 1,200, and there's 2 of us plus an animal. So we're like, and a Lego collection. So
that counts for like 3 people right there.
Yeah, if not more. Yeah, exactly.
See, the kids are starting their own Lego collections already. So the in the office thing is already done with us.
Oh man.
So like, 'cause all the Jurassic World stuff, that's not mine. That's my kids. Like I'll take the pieces if I need them, but for the most part, they get built and destroyed right away. So
Exactly.
well, technically, eventually they get swept in here because the
Mhm.
wife's like, I don't want this outside, so she just tosses it into the office, and then like, oh, I guess this is in my collection now, no longer in my kids' collection. They could have everything else. But then again, they come back in here, take stuff out, it goes back out. So I think my wife's rule is kind of done.
Dang.
But
Stacey, do your parents like? Are they into the hobby? They've obviously been the ones to provide it for you in the beginning. They got you into it.
Yeah.
Like,
parents
are they involved at all?
I actually just got my mom her first Lego set for Christmas this past year.
flowers?
Do what?
Was it the flowers?
No, I came across the Flintstone set in one of my bulk lots, and she was, she grew up with the Flintstones, so I gave her that set. And I just got her the John Deere set that I'm going to give her for her birthday this year because she grew up on a farm and John Deere's like a big thing. So, but yeah, my dad doesn't, he's very supportive of it, but he's not like into it or anything. My mom loves it though. She's just never had any of it. She just enjoys buying it for my brother and I. And my sister when she was like super young. She has like 10 sets, but she was done with it when she was young. My brother and I though, it's like, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to buy it for us for the rest of our lives.
Do you and your brother like have one collection together, or do you guys are they separated?
They're separated. Yeah. He lives in a different state, so he has all of his stuff. But when I go to visit, or when he comes up here, I'll request some sets occasionally. Because when we were growing up, we had our own sets, but we would, play with them together. And my parents were like, they didn't think we would be collecting them as adults. So they were like, if one of you has it, that's enough. You can play with it. And now it's like, but I really want that set. Or it was a big part of my childhood, so I want to review it for YouTube, even though it's not technically mine. So
you like venture into new
like the new stuff is cool, but the style is just not what I'm a super big fan of. I really like stylistically.
You like the nostalgia of the older stuff.
Yeah.
Like the bills were just easy.
Yeah, they were. And they were massive. Like they were still huge sets, but they didn't require as many pieces. So I don't know. I just really it used to be about imagination, and now it's no imagination required. Like they give you exactly what it is you need. Yeah, everything's super intricate. I just liked where it was more about like, I don't know. The build is fun, but as a kid, I wouldn't have been interested in a 1,200 piece set because I would have wanted to play with it. So I just never grew out of that phase, I guess.
So you still play with your Lego?
Well, no,
nothing wrong with that. I still play with my Lego.
I
still play with them.
No, I mean the dream is to someday have kids that I can play with them with, but no, I mean it's mostly I just don't have time for that amount of building. All of my large like Ultimate Collector Series sets are still in the box because I don't have time for a 5,000 piece build. So as much as I want to,
finding time to build Lego is so hard.
It is, yeah. And
then finding time to build Lego and film it, let alone edit and put it out there, is even harder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, when I started my YouTube channel, I was doing 2 videos a week. Now I just do one. It's too much.
No, for sure. Like honestly, like this podcast and stuff like is one of the few times that I like will sit down and other than like to do something that's like kind of Lego related and fun. So I build a lot of the times that we're recording because it's like otherwise I haven't built in a couple weeks, so this is like a fun time. And I just like do something silly like these little books are great, by the way.
Yeah,
I love them. I love them and they're so satisfying and they're really like they're just so easy to store and to put on display. And it's just like, I've really enjoyed them. So I know a lot of people have like hated them, but I think they're really fun.
Do you think those are better than the Disney books?
I love all of them.
Ooh, okay.
I'm a big fan. I have all the books. You're on mute, Shy. It's okay though.
Do you like how they look on a shelf? My bad.
Oh, now
you're on mute.
I love how they look on a shelf.
That was perfect.
I feel with your giant bookshelf, it would match perfectly.
Yes, I love books, so it blends together. It's my love of books, like probably my two favorite hobbies. No, that's a lie. Cooking and Lego are my two favorite hobbies. Yeah,
So what you're saying is we need a cookbook.
that would be the ultimate like amalgamation of the things that I would love. Yeah.
I mean, you can build a cookbook for your shows on Mondays.
Maybe, I
Damn.
don't know, not really. Buildings are just still more fun, but it would be cool to get a set like that from Lego.
Well, I think we've hit it. We've hit it all. we hit the time. Is anyone have anything left to say or bring up? Stacey, you want to plug anything?
I don't know. I'm at ForBricksandGiggles on like every platform.
Consistency.
Yeah,
That's
I
great.
mean, if you type ForBricksandGiggles into Google, I'm like the first 10 hits on the internet. So
This is all taken and like TM.
yeah, I did actually go through the trademark process. So
Wow.
it literally
Nice.
is trademark.
Do I have permission to put your name on YouTube then?
Absolutely.
And or Spotify and any other social media outlets?
For sure.
Okay, cool. Well, in that case, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
And
thanks for having me. It was
yeah,
fun.
hope to see you on here soon again, maybe one day, for round 2.
Definitely. Yeah.
And if no one has anything else to say, just roll that music. Peace.
Bye-bye.
I think the video you put up for the short was funny because it's like, oh, that's how Stacey really is.
Yes. Yeah, I realized I'm like super stiff on most things that I do. I mean, other than TikTok, but yeah, it is nice to see the